Hey,
Oh,
prepare the
Mendel,
live stream. Give it a moment.
I didn't shut it off. I forgot.
It says it's being live
Do me a
streamed.
favor, shut off the car. I left the car going. All right. Here we are. Yes, yes. You don't mind? Thank you.
Right, you're live now.
I'm live, huh? I'm alive. Zagis, and we'll see you later.
We're live. We're all live.
Okay, can you? All right.
You can continue, Rabbi.
Hear me? Okay.
There you are on YouTube. I see you.
Yeah. Okay. So did you get a glimpse of some of my children and grandchildren there?
Lucashin.
You saw?
Yes.
There was a lot of excitement there. It's a little kindergarten in my house right now with a bunch of grandchildren together. Thank God. What a blessing. So the question is, what is so unique about the fact that the Torah was given at Mount Sinai when we had the Torah previously? To mention Yaakov, he learned for 14 years at the yeshiva of Shem, which is the son of Noah and Aver. They had a yeshiva, they had a study, a place of study. And furthermore, not just them, not just Yaakov, but all the patriarchs. And in Egypt, we know that when Yaakov went down to Egypt, he sent out Yehuda before him. When Yosef revealed himself to his brothers, he sent Yehuda to set up a place of study. Because, Jewish people have to have a place of study of Torah. You can't, won't be able to survive without it. So the concept of learning Torah had existed much before the giving of the Torah. So what did the giving of the Torah create that was not there before? So before we answer this question, we're going to go to the Rambam. And the Rambam says something very interesting. Give me 1 second. I'm going to a wedding right now. I've got to make sure I'm going to the right place. Okay. Okay. See me? Oh, okay. So the Rambam writes in what's called Yud Gimel Ikrim, the 13 fundamentals of belief. What are the 13 fundamental beliefs? The 12th is in believing in Mashiach. The first is the belief in God, the oneness of God, right? So I think it's fundamental number 8 or 9 is that the Torah will not be changed. There's never going to be a change in the Torah. Meaning, you can't add or subtract. Or you can't say that, God is going to come and he's going to one day reveal a new teachings. It won't happen. So, and that, again, that's a fundamental teachings that the Rambam says of Torah. So the Rabbi Yosef Alba, who was a a 14th century sage, Sefer Ikrim, who writes in a book called, Fundamentals of Judaism. And he asks the question, of course, we can't come and change and say that there will be something different in the Torah. We can't do that. We're human, and we can't come and change something that comes from God. But what is there to say, he asks the question, that God can't do that? That God can't come and, if you will, make what's it called? Mount Sinai 2.0. We had Mount Sinai 1.0, the revelation of God to the Jewish people, the year 2448. But why can't we say that God Almighty he's infinite, he can do as he chooses. And if he chooses that he wants to make a second revelation, what's the proof that you can't? So he questions. So a lot of commentators answer back and deal with this issue. And one of the approaches that it's taken is that there's a difference between I'm sorry. And I want to bring a proof and want to bring a proof that we see that there was a change in some ways prior to the Torah being given. For example, before the flood, there was a prohibition to eat meat. Couldn't eat meat. The world was vegetarian. Don't tell this to PETA, what I'm saying now. Don't repeat it to any member of PETA. If anybody's member of PETA over here, well, it's too late. After the flood, the flood actually brought a refinement to the world. Actually brought a refinement on a deeper level, as we've learned in the past. The flood was actually a cleansing. Yes, the cleansing came through destruction. In as much as what's going on in Gaza right now, there's a cleansing that's happening. That cleansing is by way of destruction. So that's what happened by the flood, that it brought the cleansing to the world, that afterwards God permitted that meat could be eaten from an animal. The only thing that you couldn't eat was the 7th Noahide law that was given. We know there's 7 Noahide laws. 6 were actually given to Adam, and the 7th was given to Noah. And what was that? That you're not allowed to eat a limb from a live animal. In other words, you have to kill the animal before, you can't, you can't, basically, you can't harm an animal when it's alive. It's the basic notion, but it's a limb from a live animal is the Iver Min HaChai, which means you can have from a non-live animal, right? You can have its meat. So we see there was a change. And the Rabbi Yosef Alboy brings another example, and it eludes me right now. In any case, the point being is that can there be a change or not be a change in the future if God so desires and decrees? So as I mentioned, commentators say no, and they explain the following. We have to understand there's a difference what happened by the giving of the Torah and before the Torah was given in what study of Torah means today versus what it meant before. Now, the human condition is as such that almost everything we do we do as a means to an end. Everything, right? And I don't say that in a bad way, in a good way, right? You make a calculation, which job should you take? So you see where you're going to make more money, where you're going to have a better job security, where you're going to have a better working conditions, and all these things you take into consideration, and rightfully so, in order to decide what is the best job to take. Likewise, if you want to get married, when you go out, a guy goes out with a girl, both the guy and the girl have to make a calculation. Is this the person that is going to be a good father, a good mother, is going to be, a devoted individual, have the values, the values that we share, and all of the like. And then based on that, right? In other words, the based on that calculation, you're going to decide, if this person is someone, obviously with the feelings and everything that come with it, but will it produce or make the ends that I want to have in my life, the life that I'm looking for? This person will be a partner in that. So again, in everything that we do, we seek the cost benefit calculation on any endeavor, any engagement. And likewise, when it comes to Torah, Torah has its benefit, and therefore we seek the benefit that the Torah has. And before the giving of the Torah, that's exactly what occurred. Torah has great benefits. Oh, wow. Okay. Torah has great benefits. As many of you here know, because you studied it, right? It refines your character. It gives you a deeper understanding of life, a deeper understanding of yourself, deeper understanding of relationships, and so on and so forth. So many things that it provides. And that is the human equation about life. The cost equation that we make, right? Cost benefits, costs and the benefits that we have. So therefore, you had the sages, not the sages, you had the patriarchs before the giving of the Torah and others that devoted themselves totally because the benefit was so great. But they had to work hard for it in order to achieve that great benefit. Matan Torah accomplished that the essential purpose of Torah is not the benefit that we have from it, not what we gain spiritually, materially, not to suggest that we don't. We have all the benefits that come with it, but essentially, what Matan Torah produced, God said, Anoichi, Hashem Elokecha, I'm the Lord your God. Anoichi means I. God gave his very I, his very essence in the Torah, that the Torah is one with him. And just as God is an end in himself, not a means to anything, but is an end in himself, he doesn't serve a purpose, God. He is the purpose. So likewise, his Torah also becomes the purpose, not the tool, not the means for benefit, but as an end in itself, that through Torah we have, just in the study itself, a divine connection. A divine connection, period. And this is what Matan Torah gave that wasn't there before, is that our engagement in Torah is for the value of the connection itself with God, period. Again, and not to diminish that there isn't other benefits that we acquire, but those are only acquired benefits. They are not the core essence of our study in Torah, which means as follows. Before the Torah was given, for you to have a value of Torah, you had to strenuously give yourself over, your life to it. And if you didn't give your life over to it, then you didn't have the real benefit. You didn't have the real benefit. You didn't have the real benefit. Right? You had some benefit, like in everything. Everything has some benefit when you do something good. But to have the real essential benefit, you didn't have it unless you gave yourself over to it totally. But today, the fact that God, Anochi, which means I gave myself over in the writing and the teachings, to have the teachings, you have me as an end in itself, the bond and the connection in God in and of himself, period. That's means right now we have that union and that oneness with God, period. Irrespective, are we going to be refined? Irrespective, are we going to become more elevated? We're going to have the, better understanding of life, a more greater maturity, and more responsibility. What all those things, not to say that we don't gain those, but those are secondary to the very primary thing that Matan Torah gave. That giving the Torah was that we have an essential bond with God every time we learn, even if you learn for 5 minutes, right? It's not the quantity, it's the quality in the fact that there is an essential bond and a connection in the learning itself. And therefore, what happened in Matan Torah is that God gave himself in the very Torah itself. That's why it can't be changed ever. Just as God can't be changed, right? Can't change for another God. So likewise, the Torah that's one with him, that was what he gave us at Matan Torah. Before the Torah was given, so the patriarchs, they learned, but they didn't have the eye of God. They didn't have the essential bond with God through Torah. They had a connection to God, but it was more about what they would gain from the teachings than the relationship, the bond itself. But now that Torah has been given, this is what we have. And this is what's going to be this Wednesday, where everybody has to be in shul to hear the 10 Commandments again. Because we're going to have a bond with God. He's going to give us the 10 Commandments for the 3,346, actually 7th time, because first time. He's going to give it to us. We are going to have that connection to him, and that will be an eternal one, as we will hear the 10 Commandments in shul this Wednesday. We will have this Wednesday, so make sure that you're there. Oh, Rabbi Bell. And remember, it's wonderful to become a great, scholar of Torah. But most importantly is you have to remember that if you have 5 minutes, and in 5 minutes that you could have a bond to God in those 5 minutes through studying Torah, even though you might not become a scholar through it, and eventually become a scholar, doesn't matter. Seek the bond whenever you have it, the opportunity, learn some more. And with that, I'm going to the wedding now. All right.
Thank you.
All right, folks. God bless you. And please be there Wednesday. A synagogue, Chabad near you.